Hi and welcome, and know that I appreciate any and all support that you're showing to my channel and my work. So thank you for all the comments and subscribes and everything. Today I wanted to walk you through my sketchbooks, but I've already shown them, or I've already shown these in another video. And so I thought that maybe I could do an edit where I could just talk about things that I've heard or seen online, where people are talking about pretty sketchbooks and ugly sketchbooks, and that the sketchbooks are full of just pretty pieces and no one's showing the bad ones, and when you do, you call it ugly art or make ugly art. But I don't, I think that sketchbook is a place for all of this. It's a place where you're supposed to be playing, where you're supposed to be learning, where you're supposed to be maybe using new supplies and new techniques so that your art can evolve. It's a place where you go and create a finished piece, because even that can be a sketch if you, like I said, if you're learning new technique or planning a bigger piece. It's worth making a smaller version of it so that you know how it's going to maybe work out, right? And the sketchbook is a place for all of that. It's a place where you maybe take notes on what you have heard, what you have seen. It's where you try marks and combining different techniques, maybe even techniques that aren't supposed to work together, or maybe aren't even supposed to be used together. But who knows, maybe you work out a way how to do that, or it's just, for you to see and experience how they work together or don't work together. At the same time, I don't think it's a good thing really to think of things in these black and white terms, good and bad. Because if you're thinking about what you've created as bad or ugly, it puts you in a wrong mindset where you just think, no, it's ugly, it's not worth it, like I failed. But the failure and making something ugly is necessary, because that's where you're actually doing something new and being out of your comfort zone. And when you do that, you learn the most and you expand your knowledge, your art can evolve, you can change your techniques, you can change your subject matters, even your whole style. Like, artists have done that in centuries. They've done it always. It's just that today it's more visible and can be clearly seen, right? And I've also seen or heard people talk that like social media perpetuates this. Well, in a way, because social media has become a place where you can showcase your work. And if you think about Instagram, it's a timeline or a gallery type of presentation of your work. And so it makes sense for an artist to put their best work out there. And so if you're going to flip through a sketchbook, maybe you're going to flip through the parts that you like the most or that contain the best work, right? If you're a sketchbook artist, maybe. And that totally makes sense. And we should all remember that almost nothing on social media is like 100% real and 100% the way it is on social media. People do that all the time because they want to present their best selves and their best work. And so if you're looking at someone else's art and you're thinking, well, all they put out is such great work, like how can I even make something like this? Of course you can. Even as an artist, even as a professional master artist, no one's ever going to make masterpieces, just masterpieces. And no one was born like a master artist. They've gone through ups and downs and learning lessons, and it's a whole learning journey. And where they are now, what you see now, is maybe their master phase in an art in general, or in that one technique that they're using. It makes sense. It doesn't mean that you can't get to that stage, fine. But it doesn't mean that their art in sketchbooks or their sketchbooks are full just of masterpieces or just of ugly art. Of course, some people may call their art ugly just to get, clout and sympathy online and comments saying no, it's not. But at the same time, I don't think that also is entirely true. The view of the good and bad is entirely subjective thing. And when you think something is bad, maybe you could try to think why you see it as a bad thing or as a bad art piece. Is it because the eyes turned creepy? Like, I made this drawing that I was like very happy with, but then I took a second look at it and I was like, something is off. Oh, it's the eyes. The eyes turned out creepy. Oh, and the smile and the eyes make the guys creepy as hell, really. And so it's not bad drawing, but it's not one that I really like, And so what can you make, or what can you do to make it better, or just take it as a learning lesson that maybe on the way of creating this piece something happened. Try to think what happened. Is it just that you had too high expectation, or because when you do and the reward at the end just doesn't come, your heart or your mind's going to be like, oh, okay, that's not good, I don't like it. But if you're like, oh, I'm not going to it with the need to create the best of my life, I'm going to it to learn and expand and just create and let myself be creative and see where it takes me. I think that's maybe a better thing. I don't think it matters what type of art you're doing. Just know that the learning is a lifelong thing, and the sketchbooks and the art that you are drawing now, in 5 years you look at it and maybe you'll be like, oh, actually for my age at that time, at the point where I was in my creative journey, that's excellent. Like, I learned so much, and I've had this feeling with some of the sketchbooks as I've been going through some of my older stuff, even like comics that I made at the university or stuff that I made at high school. And some of it I remember, like I look at the drawing and I remember the feeling, of being just happy creating something. And I'm like, oh, it's actually pretty neat. It's really good, I remember enjoying it, and I remember learning so much and pushing my skills forward. And that's the whole thing, And I think that's where kids are great. They're super, super great at just enjoying things now and not caring about the results being good or bad. There's just a drawing that they did, and they created they created something out of nothing. And that's fabulous. That's amazing. You don't do that all the time, every day, these days, unless you're an artist, maybe. But it's great, to have a step away from your work and come back and be like, okay, so this wasn't there, I made it. And so it's neither good nor bad. It was a learning journey, and I don't like these things, but I appreciate these things. And I've learned to use a new tool through this drawing. So that's also an excellent thing. And I can take that with me when I'm creating other pieces and other art, and I can just let go. I think we are forgetting this because there wasn't an age before now where you could easily see into a sketchbook of an artist. So what you see and what's left now in most cases is the masterpieces or the later sketchbooks where they already had progress and progressed so much that even the sketches are just like you can see the painting that was forming in their heads. But today, you can easily see the evolution of an artist if they choose to share with you the private space of their sketchbook. And I really feel like sketchbook is a private place, and I think that it's a good thing to share it because it's also stepping out of your comfort zone. But maybe just like everything, it's not great if you share everything. Some of the work that we do, some of the sketchbooks that we work in, maybe we want them to be more private, not because they contain ugly pieces, but because we created them in time where we also used it as a release and a relief tool for stress or when we are going through difficult situations, right? And so I just wanted to say that I don't think that there is a good or bad art, especially when it comes into sketchbooks. They should be, maybe they shouldn't even be called sketchbooks, but maybe like learning books, or maybe even like commonplace art books, because you are even, the sketchbook is a way where you commonplace techniques and your own ideas, and you try things to see where it leads you. And so thinking of it as a learning place is the best thing I could have done for myself, where I can just store in there finished things, sketches, drawings. I can use it to learn drawing different subjects in different media. And by the way, I love using kids drawing media, so like children's markers or children's tempera paint pens or whatever it is, because they're just I don't know, they're just very fun to use, and it's a throwback to when I was a kid, and really it helps, and I'm not really worried anymore about everything in the sketchbook or everything that I made actually being great and amazing, because even if you make an art piece that's not great, you can still use it for something. Maybe a card, scan it and make a card of it, who knows, even make your own like business card out of it, who knows, like, and the most use you can get out of any piece you make, sketchbook or out of sketchbook, is a learning lesson. And so think of it that way, rather than a storage for finished pieces, or that a sketchbook should contain sketches because it's called sketchbook. That's not really the case either, and I don't think that in the past it always contained just sketches for artists. It's because sketchbooks are just a convenient place to carry things in and to carry with yourself.